Hey, 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 what's up, man? It is the Ace Michael Show. And if Frank Sinatra were alive, he would say, it is the Ace Michael Show. Ace Michael Show. Although he would probably sound better than that, even if, and that was pretty good. Anyway, if you ever want to be on the show, you can. All you have to do is just send us a message, say, hey, I'd like to be on the show. And at that point, that's the best way for you to be a guest. Come on board and you can speak your mind, voice your opinion, ideas, convictions, beliefs, dreams, prophecies. You know who you are. And that's what's up today on the show. We have Mystery. She is a Los Angeles based singer, songwriter, performer. For a while now, I've known her and followed her career. So we're just going to tell us a little bit about what it's like to be out there in that dog eat dog world of show business. What's up, Mystery? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's great to see you, Wade.
It is my pleasure to be seen anywhere these days, for real. As I've gotten older, I just really appreciate the opportunity to be able to be seen. That says a lot.
Thanks for having me too. I appreciate that.
It is my pleasure, absolutely. So let's jump right into it. So you're in the music business and you're in LA where the music business is an awesome place to be. I don't think there's another more awesome place for the music business except maybe New York. I think New York and LA are the two places you want to be if you want to be in the music business. Tell us a little bit about your start. How did you get into making music?
So I lived in South Florida and I was writing songs with a band. And then one day, the bass player, after the guitar player and drummer left, the bass player said, "Come here, I want to show you something." So he took me to the back and he had a full on studio with keyboards and professional mics. And I was like, wow. And he goes, "Yeah, let me show you what I've been working on." And he was doing dance music, EDM, pop. And I said, "I love that kind of music." So we started writing together. So one night after rehearsal with the band, the guitar player left and came back because he forgot something. And he said, "You guys cheating on me with this dance music? What's going on here?" And so I eventually moved out to LA. And so I met different producers and different bands. So that's probably why my music is so versatile because really I love to collaborate and it just depends on, who I'm working with, what kind of product we end up with.
So where did you originate from? You said you moved to LA from somewhere. Where?
Well, that was South Florida that I started out, but I was actually born in New York.
Oh, wow. So you were with this band in Florida,
Yeah.
and what prompted the LA move? Like, did you have some opportunities out in LA that you couldn't do in Florida?
It's funny because I remember when I was a little girl and I used to watch sitcoms and TV shows, and I would say, "I want to go there." And then I'd have friends, that came out here and told me, "Oh, how is it?" And they're like, "You would love it there. You would fit right in." So I ended up moving from Hollywood, Florida to Hollywood, California, and here I am.
And there you are, exactly. Now, is it hard to get some interest in the music business in LA? Like in your career, would you say you had faced some hard times trying to get people to hear your songs or get bookings or get the attention, trying to get the attention of somebody who can help your career?
So it's funny how the business works. So I had a showcase with Sony and they really liked me and they said, "We want you to work with our producers." And I said, "Okay, great." And they're like, "It'll cost you $20,000 a song."
Okay,
And so then they were explaining to me how you have to hire a publicist and, you essentially you're paying for your own career.
sure.
And like back in the day, a label would put money into a band and then they would take it out on the other side after they had record sales. But in this day and age, you're essentially paying for your own career if you're working with a major label.
Hmm. And so Sony was interested, so they offered you, basically you use our producer you get your publicist, and they laid out basically a menu of different things you're going to have to do in order to get this deal. Did you walk away from it?
I did.
You did. You walked away from it. Now, I had an offer on the table with Interscope Records years ago, and it was a similar thing, except I'd already produced several songs. I had 4 songs, maybe 5 songs finished at that time, what I felt were finished. And so what they said was, well, if once you finish, do another 6 songs, and then we'll put our label on it. We'll basically sign you. You'll have our label on your record, and you have a distribution deal. And looking back on it in hindsight, I probably should have taken it, maybe,
Yeah.
but it just didn't feel right to me. It's like, well, if I'm going to make the record and I've already made half the record, I don't need you to just put your label on it. Like, I thought y'all was going to cut me a check. Damn it, cut me some money. I want some money, man. I ain't doing this for free. But but that's not the way it worked. And looking back on it in hindsight, I mean, you know, record labels do take a big risk with a new artist. You never know if that artist is going to pay off back or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But that is the nature of the business. And so you walked away from the Sony deal, right?
Yeah.
Do you regret it?
Well, I mean, you never know. Like, you figure they want me to work with their producers. It's 20 grand a song. So you multiply that by 10 songs, there's 200 grand, plus that doesn't count all the other fees that they were talking about. Because,
Right.
like I said, back in the day, like with TLC, the label paid for everything, and then they took the money back. You have to
Mm-hmm.
pay back from your sales. And those girls ended up with literally nothing.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. I'm glad you brought up TLC, because that's a prime example of, you did nothing. You earned nothing. They didn't write any of their songs. Their songs were all written by other people. So the other people get the royalties from the songs.
Yeah.
They were young girls who probably didn't know much about business in general, much less the entertainment business, which is ever
Mhm.
changing. So, you find yourself after 15 years, if you're lucky, with a great string of records that everybody knows, but you don't have any money. You're at the coffee shop trying to get your meal paid because you're broke, and unfortunately, that's the case with a lot of people. Etta James, legendary singer, died broke. Nina Simone died with no money. Ella Fitzgerald died with no money. And people, they don't understand how quickly, when you're in the entertainment business, money comes and goes quick. You got to pay bands, you got to pay photographers, you got to pay publicists, you got to pay makeup artists, you got to pay for locations. And all of this comes out of your money as an artist, correct? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've
So,
always
like,
thought it was,
the old saying, pay to play? It's
yes.
true on every level,
Yes.
because you have to pay for the venue, for instance, and then you get your money back from the sales,
Yes.
ticket sales. And it's pay to play on every level, from the small artist to the biggest artist in the world.
Yes, and I've always thought it was really a raw 22, because you didn't really get to catch that 22, but it was just a raw deal because, as you know, I booked the House of Blues for a long time. I was booking Sunset House of Blues, Key Club, Viper Room. I was a Sunset Strip promoter for a couple of years, and it was always painful to explain to the bands, like, yes, we'd love to have you play. I mean, you're good. We'd love to have you play, but you got to bring 50 people. And if you don't bring 50 people, then you got to buy 50 tickets. And I don't care if you give them away. I don't know what you're going to do. But in order for us to open this venue, we got to make sure we're making a certain amount of money. And it never seemed equal, because for the band, even if they paid that $500 to play on the main stage, well, who reimburses them for the rehearsal time, the equipment, the gear? The gear alone, some of those guitar players' rigs, they call them, those guitar players' rigs are worth thousands of dollars. It's not uncommon for a guitar player to have $5,000 worth of equipment in his setup.
Yeah.
Well, where'd all that money come from? And now you're going to pay him $50, $100 to come play at your bar?
Or they are going to pay you.
Yeah, well, if they sell the tickets right, they're going to end up. So it always seemed like it was a raw deal. Okay, so given that, why would you stay in it? Like, why would you? What makes you want to be in the music business, knowing how cutthroat and how much it could suck?
Well, that's why I don't really want to be in the music business really anymore. I just want
Okay.
to make music. You know what I mean? I just want to play. I want to sing. I want to collaborate, because that's what I love. I mean, I've been doing that since I was a little girl, and
Mm,
so it's always been part of me and it's never going to go away.
yeah, and so now you have another band. You're in a band now, or are you the front person of a band?
Yeah, right now I'm kind of like not really working with anyone in particular. So I'm kind of looking around to find people to work with. It's hard now with the quarantine because you can't, like book studio time and go write songs. You have to, we're quarantined right now. So
Well, isn't it
it's,
hard too that, I mean, the music business in itself has changed in the last 10 years. Like 10 years ago, people bought CDs. They were maybe
yeah,
the last people buying CDs, but there still were people buying CDs. So it was clear if you make a CD with 10 songs on it, you can sell that CD for 10, 15 bucks. If you sell 1,000 of them, you make $15,000. That makes sense. That's
yeah,
good math for business. But
mhm,
now that there are no CDs being made, and I mean, people don't even I don't know people who download songs and pay money for them. I'll be honest. I've got every Bruno Mars song that I like. I pay what, $10 a month for Apple Music subscription or something like that, and I
yeah,
can listen to any music I want. I don't know how those artists get paid from that. And to be honest, as a consumer, I don't care. I just want to hear the songs. You know. So I don't even know how an artist is making a living at the music business anymore, because you've got the clubs that are cheating you. You've got the record labels we've already explained that are cheating you. Then you've got these download services that are clearly cheating you. So you got to be in it for love.
yeah,
That's it, right?
right.
Wow. Tell me about the best song that you've ever written and what makes it the best song in your opinion.
So I have a song called Falling in Love, and it's just, I feel like everyone who listens to it, whether they're, 18 or 80, they can relate to it. And when I wrote it, it wasn't about a particular person. It was just about falling in love. And so I think that's another reason why people can relate to it, because it's about the act of falling in love, not about a certain person.
Wow, I'd like to hear that song. That sounds like a really good song. And could you imagine yourself, just imagine, could you imagine making like millions of dollars for that song? Like someone like Elton John, who's written a song 50 years ago, literally 50 years ago, wrote this song that is now still played. It's now an anthem song. It's now this. I mean, can you imagine being that songwriter, that your song becomes a national song that you're making money for forever?
Yeah, it would be amazing. And when you said, "Can you imagine?" I wasn't thinking about the money. When you said that to me, I was thinking about being on a stage and performing it in front of tens of thousands of people. That's really more what I would prefer. And I
Yeah,
mean, of
yeah,
course, I'll take the money, but
yeah.
the performing part is really what I love too. The writing and the performing.
Absolutely. Are you familiar with the artist Tracy Chapman?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tracy Chapman had a hit song in the 80s, Fast Car, right? And I knew that she wrote that song. And I knew that she had kind of come from an obscure background, and she wrote this song which changed her life. Fast Car was a hit single, and she had a hit album in the 80s. What I didn't know was the recent song that she has, Give Me One Reason. You know that song? I didn't think she wrote that song. I thought that was a cover. I thought that was a blues song that someone else had written. And so one day I was sitting here and I was just reading liner notes from different albums from back in the day. And I found that album and I found that she wrote that song. And I was already impressed with her beyond belief. She's a great songwriter, great singer. But when I thought, man, she's had a couple of hit songs like in her life. Like how wonderful a feeling is that? It's one thing if you pull up one time in the parking space and you're like, okay, they put my name here for the month. But then if you get to keep pulling up in that same parking space, you're like, wow, this is kind of like a thing. Like I'm kind of a thing here now. I bet that's the most fabulous feeling to
Yeah.
know that people love your music enough to play it at their wedding, to play
Yeah.
it on the radio, and to give you, and other bands want to play your song. I think that's great. So now the question is, what do we need to do to get your song out there, in your opinion, so that it can become that kind of song where everybody's hearing it and everybody's playing it? Woohoo! That's what we want, right?
From your mouth to God's ears, Ace.
That's it. Well, God, here's what we want to do. Okay, so do you have a music video of the song?
So not of that particular song, but I am on
Okay.
reverbnation.com/mystery, MISSTERY. So pretty much most of my songs are on there. And of course, everyone's more than welcome to listen. I would love it if they could listen to it, actually, listen to all my music.
Okay, let's do a push since we have this social media presence. Our goal is, because you said that was, in your opinion, that's your best song that everybody loves the most. Do you have a recording of it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a recording of it. So let's, in this next, let's give it this summer, the summer of 2020, let's promote that song. Let's get behind it. Let's put it out there. And if there's any way, shoot a music video, even if it's a simple one. It doesn't have to be a big blown out one. But let's use that and let's see what we can do. Okay? Maybe we can't do anything, right? But what if? What if we can? Let's try it.
Let's
The
do
song is
it.
called Falling in Love, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So right now, make sure that gets up on your SoundCloud or your Reverb Nation or whatever. So we're going to tell everybody, go check this song out, Falling in Love. If you like it, share it with somebody else. Who knows? We might be able to make a hit song off of the show. We might. We might not. But you know what life is? If you don't try, you don't learn. If you don't learn, you don't grow. You don't grow, you don't live. Hello. So let's try it out and let's see. So Mystery, we're going to get behind promoting your song, your single, Falling in Love. So
Thank you, Ace.
K-Ace with Falling in Love, the new single from Mystery Singer in Los Angeles. To K-Z-Z-Z. Anyway, that was my little radio thing.
You know what else, Ace? Maybe you and I can work on something. I didn't even realize that you were an artist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I could
When I
see you.
can, sure, why not? Yeah, it just becomes harder and harder because it's like when you're a boy, you're happy with a bicycle. When you become a man, you're happy with a motorcycle. Okay? And that's not always the case, but that pretty much is the case. And so as you become more extensive as an artist, you start to realize that the things are going to cost you to do more. You start wanting more pieces, you want more musicians, you want better musicians, you want to be in bigger studios because your vision has to grow as you grow, right? So
Yeah.
for me, I'm an older man. I'm in my 50s. I'm not interested in getting out and selling tickets to play in a bar. I'm not interested in playing covers in a bar. I live in Las Vegas now where I did play in some bars. I played some shows at some casinos and made some money. That's not how I want to make money. It's not for me. Not really. If I'm going to get on stage and perform, I want to sing my songs. And if there's not an audience for me to sing my songs, then I guess that's the point, isn't it? That's how I feel. But yeah, I've done it for years, doing music writing, music producing. It's in my family. My brother has produced some hit records. My son, who's 15, is starting to produce music, and that made me overjoyed when I found out that he was getting involved in the music as well. I was like, oh dude, without me asking him or pushing him to do it. That's what was really the pleasure of it, was knowing that that's kind of why I wanted you to be in the world in the first place, to be quite honest. You know what I'm saying?
It's in his blood, right?
Yes, it's in my blood. We're crying out loud. So what's next on the agenda for you? What can we look forward to next?
So again, I'm looking to find some people to collaborate with. So
Yes.
hit me up, peeps.
Yeah. So collaborators as far as musicians, producers,
Yeah,
other writers,
musicians, producers, songwriters, absolutely.
and you're open to any genres.
Yeah, well, like I said, I do rock, I do pop, EDM, dance, house,
Mhm.
that kind of thing.
Let me ask you a question before we run out of time. Do you think that there's ever a time limit on talent in the entertainment business? Like when I started off in the entertainment business years ago, there definitely was. It was very clear cut that like, look, you know, you can do this till about 28, bro, but after that, you, you shouldn't be trying to do it because nobody's interested after that. But over the last few years, you know, Michael Bublé, Seal, uh, Darius from Hootie and the Blowfish, even Sting. Sting is out there still doing his thing hard. Like, you know, he's not just going on the glory tour from, you know, my name used to be Sting and I used to sing these songs. He's writing new material and making new videos, and he's going hard. So it sounds like you agree, but it's your question. You're the guest. Do you think that there's a time limit on how you become famous?
I, well, again, the fame to me is not as important as the art. And, as you get older, you actually get better, really, because, you have more experience and, you're evolving, like you mentioned before. So I definitely think you're not getting older, you're getting better.
Mm, that's a good point right there. Mystery, how do we stalk you on the internet? We want to find you. We want to stay focused on everything you're doing. Where do we go?
So go to reverbnation.com/mystery, which is MISSTERY.
Mhm.
On Facebook, I am Mystery Singer, which is MISSTERYSINGER. And on Twitter, I'm Mystery Diva, which is MISSTERYDIVA.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Hey man, it's the Ace Michael Show. Mystery on the show today. It's no mystery. She's talented. She's got a new single called Fallen in Love. We're going to try to promote this. Everybody in this circle, let's try to promote her song. Let's see how big we can make it. Mystery, thank you so much for being on the show today and every day. Hopefully you'll come back and do our show again. And guys, it's time to close the show. So we say, we chant our mantra, live the life you love the life you live. Thank you. That was great. Great.